They just apply for the job. And I think that's like, looking back, obviously that seems like simple advice, but it's just like when you're a student that especially was in school the entire time, especially in pharmacy, like you see the different career paths that everyone takes, and you kind of just want to follow that same career path because it seems the most approachable. Everyone's doing the same thing, so you don't want to like, do anything different. And no one really tells you to like just do the thing that you actually want to do, because that's actually going to lead you to better results. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be sharing advice that I was able to get from my mentors. And I'm actually very fortunate to call them mentors because these are people that are well into their careers. Now they're basically like head level executives in pharmacy administration and health administration. And I got to talk to them in the later stages of my pharmacy career when I was actually like a kind of pharmacy student that didn't know what they were going to do with their career. And I actually got really good advice that I want to share with you guys. So hopefully you guys can learn from this video just like I think this advice was very helpful for me when I first started out. So the first piece of advice that I got was to just do your job very well. And this is something that like a lot of people overlook. The main thing you have to focus on is setting that good foundation of just doing your job very well to the point where you're seen as very reliable and dependable, and people can actually look to you to actually get the job done. And this will actually set you up for a lot of opportunities in the future. So this will lead to my next point, which is to say yes to as many opportunities as possible. And this is kind of like a good balance because you want to be very, very good at your job and make sure that you're doing that job very well. But also on top of that, you want to be able to stretch yourself to actually learn how to do more things, to actually have more opportunities in the future. And obviously, if you're not able to handle the more things, which could happen in the future and maybe will happen, you should revert back to making sure you're doing your job well first, and then later on going back to try to say yes to opportunities. But I think it's very important when you first start out your career to just say yes as much as possible, because this will actually allow you to learn a lot faster, learn a lot more, and also you be in position whenever people ask you for like say promotions, or you're actually looking to actually switch roles. You know so much more than the other person that's just doing their job, because you actually know about your job, someone else's job, and then eventually like you're looking for a new manager. It's good to actually know different roles, so that way if you are someone's manager, you actually understand their main tasks on a day-to-day basis. So the next piece of advice that I think is very useful to understand is to just ask for what you want. And this is something that, just to give you guys some background, this happened to me when I actually was asking my mentor a question about, the career path of a pharmacy major. So as most people know, as a pharmacy major, you kind of have three main career paths. You have the career path of doing retail, the career path of doing going to hospital, which is usually going for residency, or you have the career path of going into industry, which usually involves a fellowship. So my main thing was that I kind of understood at the latter stages of my career that I didn't want to focus only on pharmacy, and I actually want to learn the business side of things so that I could have a career more revolved around business. And the reason why I kind of felt that way was because I finally met my mentor, who actually is a person that isn't super heavily focused on pharmacy. Like I never met somebody that had a pharmacy degree that wasn't super clinical, that actually had like other aspects of them that they actually worked on that were more business acumen related. So when I found out there's a people like that, I really wanted to navigate that and be like, learn from them. So my main question to them was, if I know I want to do something involved around business and I have a pharmacy degree, obviously a very clinical degree, should I look to go for a residency and try to do the health administration route where you spend 2 years, the first year doing the general stuff and then next year doing health administration? Should I do the route of doing industry, of like doing a fellowship, or should I look for just a role in general to just apply to? And my mentor basically told me that you have to ask for what you want. So like if you know that you really want to do this business thing and you know that like you really focus on that, then just apply for the job. And I think that's like, looking back, obviously that seems like simple advice, but it's just like when you're a student that especially was in school the entire time, especially in pharmacy, like you see the different career paths that everyone takes, and you kind of just want to follow that same career path because it seems the most approachable. Everyone's doing the same thing, so you don't want to like, do anything different. And no one really tells you to like just do the thing that you actually want to do, because that's actually going to lead you to better results. So it's kind of funny now looking back, but it's so important that you just like understand that you have to ask for what you want. And even if you don't understand what you want, just ask for anything, and eventually someone will help you. Because I feel like a lot of people will be actually very surprised, even in my story, how many people are actually willing to help you. Like, you'd be surprised just having that email address or just being a person that's very like interested and looking to have a very good career. You'd be surprised how people that weren't even pharmacy majors or pharmacy graduates that were in health administration that really were looking at me to help me in my career so that I could progress and get to the place where I wanted to get to, where I am now. And even though I'm not where I want to be, I'm a lot closer than what I thought would be when I first started. So like, you would actually be very surprised by that. But I think the main thing is to make sure you ask for what you want. And even if you don't know what you want, make sure you at least ask for, advice, guidance, and stuff like that, because that will actually help you to actually get mentorship, help you get into a better situation, allows you to have more opportunities to actually get to a place that you want to get to in the future. And I just want to give you guys one more point to just like further emphasize this, because I think a lot of people, especially when you're in school or like, you're very introverted, you're very shy, you're not used to like asking for things, you think that you can't really do a lot. But for me, for example, when I just asked for more tangible things I can do, and even though I didn't know how I wanted to do health administration, I just knew I wanted to do business stuff. It revolved around like healthcare. I was able to literally rotate around an entire health system. Like, I went to, I think, around 6 to 7 hospital systems just by asking for learn about things, and I was able to shadow different executives around the health system. On top of that, I was also able to do this during the pandemic. So it just goes to show you, like, if you're really that kind of person that just asks for what you want, the worst thing you can get is a no. And obviously, like, most people are actually going to try to help you out, especially when they're already kind of in their career. Those people are really looking forward to help other people out in the future. That's why people become preceptors. That's why people actually do mentoring sessions all the time. And you just got to find that like ability to find the right mentor and find the right person that wants to help you. And they can literally you can ride under their wing, and you can literally just follow them very, very far, farther than ever you could go by yourself. So that's the main thing I will say. Just constantly just ask. And then if the worst case scenario you say no, the person says no, eventually you'll find someone that's willing to help you, and then you will get very far in your future career. And the last thing that I will say, and this is the last piece of advice that I have, is to just invest in yourself. And I say this pretty much in every single video, but I think it's the most important thing you can do, is that the only thing you have is yourself, honestly, at the end of the day. And if you don't invest in yourself, no one else will. So like, one thing I noticed when I was rotating around different health systems, or when I was actually like following people that were my mentors, is that all of them like constantly had like books on like their shelves or like around them, or they were constantly like learning in their own capacity. And I just want to show you guys right now. These are the 2 books that I actually received when I went to Shadow. Both of these books are from the Harvard Business School, Harvard Business Review as well. And they talk about, one is about like negotiation and like how to balance a good work-life like harmony and like that. And the second book is about being a better leader, because every single person can be a leader. So just making sure you're a good leader in terms of every aspect of life, so you can have a much more enjoyable life. And it just goes to show you, like, this is something that like people that are doing when they're already further in their career, like they're already like 20 years into their career. So that's why I said before, like, there really is no excuse that like you shouldn't be constantly learning, trying to navigate these situations and trying to be the best person possible, so that way you can actually approach your work very well. And this is something that I talk about also, because a lot of these things that like, if you don't ask for permission to actually get the job you want, it's going to actually make a big difference on the job you get in the future. If you don't negotiate with yourself, with other people, and do the things that you think are kind of non-traditional or don't make sense, then you might have regrets, and you might not actually enjoy the work you're doing and actually wake up in the morning and actually want to do the job you want to do. So I think all these things are basically just saying that it's very important that you do these things in the right way, so that way you can actually do the best job possible, and you can actually have a very successful career, which will lead to hopefully a very successful life in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.